some time to get in the building. Y'all already know it's your boy Strizzle. Omni Omnis Independent, your boy. I go by many names, man. The build tonight is about cancer and immunity. Okay? Again, we're teaching scientific and historical literacy for indigenous people. All right? So, absent of colonial political bias, we want a chance to build about some of the things we see going on in the world. And you have independent researchers such as myself, who takes a lot of time to go in and, study these articles and gather this information. So for the average individual who doesn't have time to research, for the average individual who may be preoccupied with day-to-day life, you have independent researchers, okay? And we're just trying to build about some of the things that we see going on in the world, all right? So tonight's build, again, is about immunity and cancer. Now, I know some people may have lost loved ones to illnesses, disease, cancer, and such things. But we want to understand why these things happen and what can we do to try to avoid such things, all right? So, cancer, family, is defined as a disease caused by the uncontrolled division of abnormal cells, right, in the part of the body, a malignant growth or tumor resulting from the division of abnormal cells, all right? A disease is caused by an uncontrolled division of abnormal cells in the part of the body, right? A malignant growth or tumor resulting from the division of abnormal cells. Now, the reason why it's important to go over that definition is because we must understand that according to science, the cell is the fundamental building block of all life, right? It's the fundamental biological hereditary unit of every living organism, okay? We have humans, we have animals, we have plants, all right? Every life form is made from these things called cells. You have different types of cells that carry out different structure, different function, all right? So, for one thing, people of African descent, black people such as myself, and all of y'all out there that's following the Black Conscious Movement, I know y'all trying to get educated about, melanin and the science of who we are and the history of where we're from. So melanin is a biochemical compound found present in most living organisms in nature, all right? And it's what makes us photosynthetically compatible to the rays of the sun, all right? Now, I say that because we know just from everyday life, you've seen people of different ethnicities with different characteristics, different traits, right? So being a black person, we look black because we have a specific gene, right, and biochemistry that produces a specific phenotype, a specific result, okay? So the whole thing with wellness and holistic health is to understand who you are, understand your biochemistry. Bio as in biological, pertaining to the body. Understanding your biochemistry, all right? Now, chemistry deals with the way that particles or substances behave or the way that they interact together, okay? All chemicals are not compatible, all right? So we have to understand that our chemistry plays a role in our biology, in our genes. So that's going to tell you what's good for you and what's not good for you, all right? Now, when we're not educated about these things, then, people get into situations where I've seen carbon monoxide poisoning in the hood, in the projects, you know what I'm saying? My grandma, she lived in one of hers back in the day, you hear? So there was situations where the old folks section, where she lived anyway, she had carbon monoxide, poisoning or whatnot. So there was a whole suit and everything. But I'm just saying things like this is common. When you get in your car and you turn on your air conditioning, that's carbon monoxide coming out of your air conditioner. Okay, so I speak about these things just to put emphasis on inorganic chemistry. We're talking about cancer, right? When we interact biochemically with another substance, whether it's a liquid, a solid, or a gas, if it doesn't match our biochemistry, then it can harm the cells, all right? And we just went over the definition of cancer, that it is a disease that's caused by the uncontrolled division of abnormal cells in the part of the body, a malignant growth or tumor resulting from the division of abnormal cells, okay? So, chemistry is what health is all about, all right? When you have a certain chemistry, you must feed your body things that are conducive to the body, all right? So, black people have a different chemistry, and we got to understand how that works. So, carcinogens, right, are substances capable of causing cancer, right, and living cells and tissues. So humans are biological organisms made of cells, made of tissues, all right? When you study particle physics or chemistry, chemical physics, you understand that an atom, which is the smallest constituent unit of ordinary matter, which has the properties of a chemical element, right? Every solid, every liquid, every gas is composed of solids, liquids, gases, all right? So that's every object. Now, when it comes to the body, you must understand that the atom are smaller particles that combine to form molecules, which are compounds of elements put together that combine to form cells. And the cells is what makes up the bodily tissues. So that's your hair, your skin, your bones, your muscles, your heart, your lungs, your liver, everything. All of that is made from what we call cells, all right? So it's very crucial to health and understanding what's good for you, all right? So black people have melanocytes, right? Melis in Greek meaning black or dark, cyte meaning cell. We have dark or brown pigmented cells, which we call melanin. It's a biochemical compound. And it has a specific structure and function, specifically converting sunlight and oxygen, okay, to a form of biofuel that we can use. So everything that we put in our mouth is not technically food, even though it may fill up your belly. It might not be the right chemical reaction. You hear? So some people develop cancer not just from diet, but from lifestyle, from having certain jobs, or where you may be exposed to asbestos. You know what I'm saying? You may be exposed to carbon monoxide, or if you do HAVC, you feel me? It's certain chemicals that you use when you're installing a unit, you feel me? And just being around those hazardous chemicals, it can have certain effects on your body, you heard? So that's the way that works. So we must be aware of ourselves, our biology, not violate that, and understand our environment. Pay attention to your environment. You know what I'm saying? All environments are not good environments. So specifically, I say that because we got to be aware of man-made chemicals. So all chemicals are not man-made. Chemicals actually occur naturally as elements on the periodic table. So you look on the periodic table of elements, you see all the natural elements or chemicals that are natural, but there are also man-made chemicals that are made by man. So they're not natural. So when you interact with these substances, they can have certain chain reactions in the body. And we don't want negative effects if we don't have to. You feel me? There's a lot of people, you know, losing people to cancer. I know somebody who just lost 2 people in cancer. You know what I'm saying? And that's unfortunate that's occurring, but it got a lot to do with miseducation and people just not really being aware. But this is a chance to build, so we can talk about it, family. You know what I'm saying? So we got to understand the genes, right? The genotype. Genotype meaning gene type. Okay? The genotype is the genetic constitution of an individual organism. Okay? Humans, animals, and plants are organisms, a systematic biological being. All right? And just like Dr. Sabi said, he preached gene food consistency. I heard him say that a lot, gene food consistency. So he dealt with medicines that were designed, or plants that had certain chemical effects on the body that's designed to detoxify the body. And like I said, he spoke about gene food consistency. So we're talking about the way that your biochemistry or your biology interacts with other things, with other substances, other objects. So a gene is a short section of DNA. Your genes contains instructions, family, that tells the cells to be molecules called proteins. All right. Now, proteins perform various functions in your body to keep your body healthy. Each gene carries information, all right, instructions that determines the features of every individual, such as your eye color, your hair color, your height. You feel me? All of those things are the byproduct of genes, right? So we have atoms, which are smaller subparticles that make molecules, which are compounds of chemicals that combine to form the cells. And the cells is what forms the chromosomes, right? And that is the genetic material, which we call the DNA, all right? Now, affinity, chemical affinity is very important. Affinity is just the degree in which a substance tends to combine with another substance, all right? So affinity is just like a natural liking or attraction to something. Anything that shares an affinity with something shares an attraction to something, a compatibility. So chemical affinity deals with chemicals that are compatible to each other. So chemical affinity is the key to approaching the cells holistically, feeding the cells what they need, and purifying the cells, detoxifying the cells. And one thing that I would suggest for anybody that's dealing with any type of illness is to exercise as much as possible. That's always good for your immune system. Going outside in the sun every day as much as possible, especially if you're a melanated person, because that's the way your body actually harnesses energy from the sun, and it gives you the energy that you need to stimulate certain biological processes. Okay, now drink plenty of water. Of course, if you're gonna be out there in the sun, you can't be out there hot without no water. You will dehydrate. So make sure you keep your hydration up too. But yeah, getting in tune with nature, family. That's all it's about. Now I feel like at the end of the day, what we really dealing with the colonial influence, right, is we see with history the things that indigenous people have been through with colonials, right? Stealing land, stealing resources. At one point in time, black people were slaves or whatnot. So we understand that we dealing with an abusive relationship with these colonial people. So you can't be 100% trusting in everything. Even though we feel like we're part of the society was made by us, but not necessarily for us. Okay, it was built by the slaves, but it's a system that's not designed for black people. All right. So when we get into the science, we get into the education, when it's dealing with religion, when it's dealing with politics, regulations, policies, and all that, that's put together are policies that are arranged for colonial benefit. So it's not really for black people, even though you may feel you're a part of the society. You live amongst colonial people, but you're not the individuals who it was made for. So we have to come together, build, and try to evolve and grow and do whatever that we can to move forward as black people. And the first thing that we got to do is wake up, family. So we gotta build about this topic. All right. So one thing I wanted to emphasize on too is that disease, right, which is cancer, is disease. Cancer is a disease. A disease is a disorder in the structure or the function of a human, animal, or plant, right? Especially one that produces specific signs or symptoms and is not a specific effect of physical injury, okay? So a disease, the main thing that I emphasize on is disorder in structure and functioning, okay? So a cancer compromises the body by by compromising the structure and the function of the cells, which makes up the tissue, which holistically is what's making up the body, family. Okay? So as far as cancer is concerned, it is a disease, right? And it compromises the body. Just like COVID-19. COVID-19 is a disease. And it causes a disorder in the structure and the function of the cells of the body. Okay? Now, like I said, carcinogens is a substance capable of causing cancer in living cells and tissue. Okay? From Greek, hakinidos, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, means a crab, and gene from Greek meaning a kind. So a crab kind, or a crab kind of gene is referring to genetics. So we just getting into the etymology to understand what the word means. All right, so those are carcinogens. When melanated people interact with things that are inorganic, we interact with carcinogens, and these are the things that cause cancer. Is an incompatibility in the processing of your biological chemistry. From incompatibilities comes conflict, all right? So things that are natural must interact with things that are natural. Things that are unnatural must interact with things that are unnatural. Now, in the ABO blood group study, we see that we have different blood groups, right? Your blood group is based on the presence of certain type of cells. We emphasized on that earlier. The reason why I focus on that is because, like I said, what's natural is for natural, what's unnatural is for unnatural. If you are of the universal blood type, right, which means you are an original human, a Rh negative, meaning absent of the Rh biological marker, you are 100% human, okay? If that is the case, that means that you have organic biochemistry. And you have to interact with things that are natural and other things that have organic chemistry. It's just as simple as that, family. If you're an A blood group or a B blood group, then that means that you have genetic mutation. A blood group is an antigenic mutation possessing A antigen. B blood group, antigenic mutation possessing B antigen. A B blood group, both A and B antigenic mutations. Okay? So you have to engage in a diet that's conducive to your body, which would be inorganics. So that would be the best thing biologically for a person that is not melanated. If you're an original human with non-Neanderthal genes, meaning you're Rh negative, you must interact with things that are organic. Okay? Now, things that are organic are just things that derive from living matter that has not been genetically modified or artificially synthesized by man. All right? Plastic is something that's synthesized by man. Rubber is something that's synthesized by man. Carbon monoxide, synthesized by man. Toothpaste, synthesized by man. What else we got? Fluoride, that's in the toothpaste. That's synthesized by man. There's a lot of things, like even the drywall in the houses. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to eventually get out to nature because that's synthesized by man too. You feel me? So I feel like the infraction of disease and sickness in the world is really just coming from people not understanding what it means to be natural and being, put in a system that has no respect or, admiration for what's natural. And from living in a society like that, there's negative effects. So unfortunately, there's a lot of cancer going on, but it's something that can be done about it. We just got to get educated about it. That's all. You feel me? Some people don't even get an alternative. Maybe they had bread and they didn't have knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Charlie Murphy, he passed away from cancer. He had some bread, but maybe he didn't have any knowledge of that he could deal with a holistic practitioner, holistic doctor, and go vegan and go natural and get rid of the cancer. But just something to think about, family. But I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here soon, though, 'cause I got somewhere to go. What time is it? I might be here for a few more seconds. Let me see. Okay. Oh yeah, I know what I wanted to talk about too. So yeah, some people are genetically inherent to disease, family. Like you have induced disease artificially, and then you have genetically inherent disease. All right. When an individual that has healthy immunity and has organic biochemistry, let's say for instance the O blood type, interacts or engages with chemistry that is not organic, there's negative immune responses. Okay. So with the Rh positive blood type that have genetic mutations, is something that's more conducive to their biochemistry. So one thing that I noticed is that an antigen is a pathogen. Like I said, you have A antigen, B antigen, A and B antigen. And those are foreign pathogens or toxins that contaminates the surface of red blood cells. You only have it in certain groups. So if you have an antigen in a mutation comes a microbe. All right, like I said, a pathogen is a microbial organism. All right, and it's called an antigen. It is regarded as a threat by the immune system, and it is capable of simulating an immune response. All right, so you have Rh incompatibility. So when an individual has Rh negative blood and receives a blood transfusion from an individual that has Rh positive blood, then there will be a Rh incompatibility. This is what we spoke about earlier about the chemical incompatibility. So you have chemical affinity, which is compatibility, and then you have chemical incompatibility. So that's where the negative immune response would occur, the incompatibility. All right? So when you go to the doctor, just, ask a few questions, about the medications. Are these medications artificially synthesized? Okay. And ask them about your blood type too, because your blood type is, supposed to determine what your immune system can handle. So it's nothing wrong with asking questions. You feel me? I think it'll be a lot less illness if people did do that. All right. Let me see, man. Yeah, so family, y'all already know what it is, man. If y'all have any questions or y'all wanted to build on the topic, you feel like black people need to get involved intellectually, black people need to get involved, economically, whatever we can do to make it better for our people, I think we should do that. You know what I'm saying? Let's get together, let's build, let's make it happen. So anyway, when you guys get a chance, feel free to check out my YouTube, which is www.youtube.com the nature guide, Omni Omnis. That's TheNatureGodOmniAmuNASE -. Y'all make sure you share and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? My other joint is what's my other joint? My Instagram is www.instagram.com/Omni Omnis, and that's OMNIS, no space. And my Facebook is www.com no www. www.facebook/OMNIS OMNIS. Feel free to comment, share, subscribe, like, all that. We're gonna get it popping, get it rolling. So I appreciate y'all for the time, the energy, love and light. Ashe.